Hey everyone, David C. Andersen here, coming at you from the Knife Center. And last week, we were at SHOT Show taking a look at all the great new products that are coming out in 2019. If you missed our coverage, you can click a link in the description below that'll take you to all of our fresh new videos straight from the show floor. And in the meantime, you'll be able to get all of these items right from us here at KnifeCenter.com. But right now, today, we're going to be taking a look at some of my favorite things that I saw while I was in Las Vegas attending the show. So the first item up is something we actually got in just a couple of weeks ago, right before the show kicked off, and that's the CRKT Provoke by Joe Caswell. If you haven't seen it yet, it's an innovative take on the popular karambit design that features a new kinematic opening system. This is an innovative new opening design that addresses some shortcomings of a typical folding karambit. The buzz at the show for it was great, everyone loved to see it, and we're excited to have it in. If you're a knife nut like me, which you probably are since you're watching this video, then you know how hard it is to keep track of all your Torx bits that you use to adjust the pivots and the screws in your knives. Well, these new twist and fix tools really fix that problem by keeping them together in one neat little unit. What these things have going for it over some other all-in-one tools is it's a very streamlined design that also has a fidgeting aspect to it. What they are is essentially a bent pin coupler design, and it's really fun to twist it around and watch the bits raise and lower until the one you need is ready for action. And it's not just a Torx set that's going to be available either. They're also coming out with versions containing popular home screwdriver bits, including Phillips and flathead, as well as sets that combine Torx and hex wrenches, as well as a socket set. Next up is the Fastball, which is a fully modern flipper knife from Gerber. As soon as I picked it up, I knew that this one was going to be a hit. It features an S30V Wharncliffe style blade, as well as anodized aluminum handles, and the flipping action on these knives is superb. If you've maybe tuned out Gerber's offerings for a few years, do yourself a favor and take a look at the Fastball. It just might change your mind. In a similar vein is Buck's Sprint series. This is a new lineup of fully modern flipper folders from one of the oldest names in knives. Like many of their products, you can get the Sprint in Select or Pro versions, but no matter which version you choose, the internals are all the same. They feature the same great detent and the same great ball-bearing flipper action, meaning that no matter which version you choose, you're going to get the performance you need to get you through the day. The Select versions of these knives feature Buck's famous 420HC blade steel, and they're available with glass-reinforced nylon handles in a few different colors as well. This makes a great, affordable platform to carry around every day. But if you want something a bit nicer, you can step on up to the Pro versions, featuring either G10, marbled carbon fiber, or burlap micarta handles with Cerakote colored insets. The blades also feature S30V blade steel with a few extra adornments to make them extra special. Next up is another series of products from Buck, and this is actually an update of a previously existing lineup. The Compadre series has always offered a great value, featuring diamond wood handles and coated 5160 blade steel, making them rough and tumble and ready to work. The newly updated versions of these knives make them even better. Starting with a black Cerakoted finish on the blade, these are going to be even more durable and even more desirable than the previous red-coated versions. And the handles are really what make these extra special. Rather than the diamond wood handles of the previous versions, we now get genuine canvas micarta handles, which are going to feel better in the hand, offer superior grip in both wet and dry conditions. Next up is something on the complete opposite end of the spectrum of these hard-use camp tools, and that's the Kershaw Launch 9. Kershaw's Launch series has always been a great affordable line of US-made automatic knives, and this Launch 9 is no exception. It features a very diminutive blade, only about 1.8 inches, but it's got a ton of personality. But it features CPM 154 blade steel and their working finish, which is essentially a really heavy stone-washed finish, which means this knife has what it takes to do some actual work. In addition to that, it's just a great size, and it's really satisfying to click the side button and flick that blade open over and over. Next up is the last folder that's going to appear on this list, and this is actually another update to an existing lineup of knives. The Benchmade Griptilian has soldiered on with 154 cm steel for a long time, but they've newly been upgraded with CPM S30V blade steel, making these knives more competitive and better than ever. These are still the same Griptilians you know and love, featuring the same great ergonomic handles, that excellent axis lock, and fantastic blade shapes. The only other tweak apart from the steel is that the sheepsfoot versions of these blades no longer feature hollow grinds. All of the S30V Griptilians will feature flat ground blades. Next up, we're going to talk about a couple of fixed blades that really got me excited, and the first up is the Condor Terasaur. This was actually introduced last year at 2018 Blade Show, but they had some production delays that pushed it back a little bit, so they reintroduced the knife here at SHOT Show 2019, and they're just about ready to ship. There's two big reasons to be excited by this knife that was designed by Joe Flowers over at Condor. The first is that previously, you could only get this design through custom makers, including Dogwood Custom Knives and Fiddleback Forge. This is the first time that this knife is appearing in a production format. The thing that makes it extra exciting is that this is a 1095 high carbon steel blade, full tang with an overmolded handle that's designed to go head to head with knives like the Mora Garberg. The blade shape is fantastic for bushcraft tasks, the steel is excellent, it feels great in the hand, and best of all, the MSRP on this knife for 2019 is only $50. Last up is my personal favorite item that I saw at the show, which is kind of surprising because in reality it's a very simple knife, and that's the Old Hickory 5.5-inch hunting knife. People have been modifying Old Hickory's line of 1095 steel kitchen knives for a long time, often taking their butcher knives and shortening them down into designs that'll work well in the outdoors for hunting and bushcraft. Ontario has noticed this trend and has decided to put out an item that's going to be good to go for these types of users right out of the box. They've taken that popular 7-inch butcher knife and shortened it down to about 5.5 inches, featuring a very similar blade shape, only now they're going to feature flat grinds with a swedge, and it's going to come right out of the box with a leather sheath. You can immediately take this knife into the field and put it right to use, whether you're doing bushcraft, cooking, or hunting. The best part is this is still a great platform for user modification. Whether you're adding custom scales or modifying the blade further, this is going to be even more attractive than taking those larger knives and cutting them down instead. As I said, we saw a ton of great stuff at SHOT Show last week, but these are just a few of the things that really got me excited. Keep checking back here at our YouTube channel and on KnifeCenter.com to see all the new stuff just as soon as it comes in. And keep your eye out, because we were working some cool deals last week too, and I think you're going to be excited by what we've come up with. See you next time.